Perfect.
All right.
Great. Okay, so I'll start the meeting. This is the Nantucket Commission on Disability. We are meeting, today is Friday, November 21st, 2025. And first I'll take the roll call to see who's here. If I mentioned, say your name, just say yes. Georgia?
Yes, here.
Nancy?
Yes, here.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
And Augie?
Here.
And I'm Mickey Rowland, and I'm here also. So also with us is Brenda McDonough, our facilitator, and a guest for the day, Chip Clooney from the school system. So somebody could make a motion to adopt the agenda as it's written.
I move that we adopt the agenda as written.
Thank you, Georgia. All those in favor, just say aye.
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 Who seconded that?
I did. Mary Beth?
Mary Beth, got it.
Okay, thank you. Public comment. There's really nobody here from the public except for Chip, and we're just about to hear from him, so we'll skip over that section. Oh, approve open session minutes for July 30th. Any discussion about the open session minutes? Seeing none. So somebody make a motion for approving that one.
I move to accept the motion.
Thank you, Nancy, and seconded by Georgia. All those in favor say aye.
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 Great. All right, so with us today is Chip Clooney to talk about the athletic fields at the high school. And just to be more specific, Chip, for your just for our issue, just thinking about this, there's two topics that we want to hear about today. And to be honest with you, I think the most important topic is regarding the current athletic field. And that is, when will it, with you and Brenda and I forget who else was involved in this conversation, was we discussed sort of temporary measures to make the field, parking in the stands and access around the field more handicapped accessible. And that's our primary question for the day. And then we can follow that up, going over the proposed new plans for the stadium. I know that that's kind of a project that's not fully approved, funded, whatever. So that's, that may be changing. So probably don't want to spend tons of time on that subject, but it might be nice to get a general sense of what those plans are as an overall package. Okay. So, yeah, regarding the first question, what is being done and what can be done soon to make this place accessible?
Right. So currently, then we did do a walkthrough. Simply, I have really no excuse. I just ran out of time. We developed a plan that we're going to put a sort of a front porch or a deck by the booster shack with a ramp. I'm going to talk to Mr. Gervin and the Boosters Club to try to get that done. I was looking at maybe those, the mats that are down by Galley Beach that extend from the boardwalk. They're that sort of a nylon material.
A Moby mat, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Would that suffice for temporary access way to get down to the booster shack and to get to the stands?
So describe more where,
from
where to where?
Right, from the access where you get in, the gate, there is asphalt down to the track.
Mm-hmm.
But at the track turns to gravel, which is one of our issues. My issue is to pave over the track, then I'm causing a hazard for the runners.
Right.
I mean, then you're going from a gravel, then you have a lump, sort of almost like like a crosswalk type of deal for the kids running. And it's difficult enough running on those stones. I was thinking maybe those mats that I had seen down at the beach would be something that we could put over and get to the booster shack, and then to the stands themselves.
And
If
would they be
something
pulled
immediate
up during
needed
the, would they be removed during a track meet, that kind of a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
They would have, well, at this point with the track as it is, we can't have a track meet, so it would be up to the track coach if he decided that we could, if we could go around them, that would be fine. I don't know. I don't know how intrusive it would be, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay, there were a few subjects, a few areas of that, you know, the field area that were going to be dealt with on a short-term basis, and I'm kind of drawing a blank. Brenda, do you remember, or do you have a list of what those were?
Yeah. Good
I
question.
remember one was down where the ambulance is, to the left of the bleachers, as you look at them from Sparks.
Yeah.
We have the ambulance and the fire truck are there, and our island home would drop there. And those guys would, in their wheelchairs, would go up and get onto the bleachers.
Mhm.
So we need to make adjustments there as well.
And also down by the the shack, what's it called?
The booster shack,
The booster
Yeah.
shack.
yeah.
And the restroom area, restroom facility.
Okay,
Right.
right. Yeah,
And include an accessible porta toilet.
okay.
It was, the plan was to, once you get to the bottom of the asphalt, you go over the track, you have to go over the track at some point, right?
Yes,
And then there was going to be an accessible route to the snack shack, right?
yes.
And then there was going to be an accessible route around the back to where you keep the porta toilets.
Yeah, we're gonna extend the ramp around the building.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
then-
okay, and so yeah, around the building, and then have an accessible porta toilet in the back where the other porta toilets are.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then we were gonna have then going in the opposite direction, it was gonna go from the bottom of the asphalt, I probably again over the gravel, and have an accessible route to the ramp, the accessible ramp to the bleachers.
To the booster shack.
No, these are to the bleachers, like go.
Oh, to the bleachers, okay.
Yeah, having a mobi mat going in that direction so that everybody, and I saw the 2 accessible parking spaces. Thank you. I noticed
Yeah.
that chip. So the goal is to go from the accessible parking spaces down the asphalt ramp. Then if you wanted to go to the shack, you get on one mobi mat and go there to the shack and and somehow get up on the platform. I guess you're gonna do a platform, or you're gonna do a boardwalk around.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah,
And get to the accessible porta toilet, and then the other route was going in the opposite direction to the ramp on the bleachers.
right. Oh,
Yep.
all the way down. So
Yep.
that would be that nylon walkway. Would that be acceptable?
As a, you know, I guess to answer that better, we'd need to know sort of how long, you know, what is the timeline, A, to get these short-term measures done, and then B, what's, you know, you probably don't really know when the big project will take place.
Yeah, that I am, at best, that's a year out, 2 years out. So at best. And so I think the other thing is getting getting the ability to pave, the money, and just getting Victor here as a, you know, he's having enough trouble getting the roads done without side projects. I don't even know how that pans out. So I don't even know how realistic it would be for me to give a timeline for Victor and getting him here. That's why I'm wondering if the mats might prove to be more effective, at least time-wise, for us. But I'll defer to you, whatever you think is best.
No, I think the mats, they get the job done.
Okay.
They feel like such a temporary measure. But you know, maybe that's how we need to look at it.
Right.
I think what I'd like to see between, you know, Chip and Brenda and me perhaps is to put this all down as a plan, you know, We've
Okay.
mentioned a few different things. Let's get it down on paper. And, you know, it's winter's coming. It's probably not gonna be too many outdoor things going on in that area for a while.
Exactly.
But spring season's coming up, with spring sports. And that field is used in the spring for lacrosse and
Yes,
field hockey and stuff.
yes.
So, yeah, we'd like to get that dealt with by the springtime.
Okay.
So let's, if you would mind, Chip or Brenda, or between the two of you, put together a plan so that we can kind of review that.
Okay.
That would be, I think, very helpful.
Yeah. I think the Moby mats can be really effective in many areas. Like I think that they work really well down to Galley Beach. And one reason is because the land bank like maintains them. You know, anytime I
Right.
went down there to look at them, I mean, they weren't like covered in sand, which they easily could be. And the terrain underneath it was, you know, the sand underneath it was relatively level. I think the Moby mats work really well when the terrain is relatively level and not like this, you know,
Yes.
then it's like, I think the Moby mats are ineffective.
Mhm.
So if there's some way, we could make sure that the grass or underneath the Moby mats was, you know, a little bit more of a smooth surface. I don't know if you can do that, but
Right.
you know, I think that's probably the biggest concern is like the terrain underneath the Moby mat.
Brenda, there might be a possibility to go along the side of the track. It's fairly level. I understand exactly
Okay.
what you're saying. If we were going from the gate all the way, sort of a direct line to
Yeah,
the other side of the bleachers, certainly there would be not only an up and down, but a slight angle, you know,
yeah,
coming out that way. So if we went down and then went towards the along the track, it is
yeah,
flat there. I believe. I think that would suffice to get us to that point.
great.
Why don't we plan on trying to meet down there sometime over the winter? Let's put this on paper, and then Brenda and I can meet you down there and kind of review it in place.
I think that'd be a great idea. I'm all for it. I'd
Great.
appreciate it.
I am too.
Good. Okay, now do you want to kind of touch on the notion of what the big picture is in the future if this can proceed?
Sure. Yeah, and I do, like you said, I want to preface this with, as the plan stands now, it's just gone through school committee as an asphalt track with grass field. I'm not sure if anybody's aware, but there's been a lot of pushback from the community about using a poly track and getting turf field down. So we're sort of in the crux of that. But all that being said, I do believe that this project will get done as this picture, as I can show you the pictures, it will be done. I just don't know what the services will be. Everybody agrees that something needs to be done. We need new stands, all these things that we need upgraded, and ADA compliance is certainly a big part of that.
Great.
I can share it on my screen if you like.
Why don't we just because Brenda and I have seen this, I don't know if anybody else
Okay.
here has actually seen the proposal. It's kind of interesting just to look at.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yep,
Yep.
we are now.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this would be the new track. We have, here is where the booster shack would be. With concessions, there'd be ADA compliant bathrooms in there. And here are the accessible walkways all the way down to the end of the track and to the bleachers. By code now, there's a press box on top of the bleachers. That has to be ADA accessible. So there'll be a ramp or an elevator involved with that. On the other side of the field, there's a parking area with handicap spots. This would be the place where the ambulance would park. There would be some parking here. There's a team room. We would have public bathrooms there as well. And I think you can see we have accessible spots in the parking lot that we would add right across from the entranceway to the stadium itself.
Great. Okay, I mean, in general terms, it looks fairly simple.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. It's just, I think really the only issue that we're having is what to make the surfaces out of, the materials.
Mhm.
And what about the budget? Is that still is it a problem? I mean, or is it mostly about the services?
It's mostly about the surfaces, actually. I'm surprised by the fact that, I mean, obviously it's more expensive for the turf, uh, originally when we first put it down, but it's not that much more. It's not something exorbitant. The real issue, I mean, we're looking at $20 million for this plan as it is, maybe a little bit more.
Okay. Well, I think we've all seen it playing out in the newspapers, the discussion about turf versus
Right.
natural. So,
And my hope is just to get it on the ballot itself. Let the town vote.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And here is a picture of the booster shack with the bathrooms that would be open to the public.
Okay.
Great. And that's kind of up on the hill behind this.
Yes, it's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no longer inside the track. That's one of our issues now is the boosters is on the other side inside the track,
Oh, yeah.
which is not good for accessibility.
Sure. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a minute.
Anybody have any questions for Chip about this?
No, looks,
All right. It
Yeah.
looks great, Chip. And so we'll be in touch, or, I think maybe the next thing is for you to put down your list of short-term remedies. And then
Sure,
we'll follow up when we get that and make an appointment to see you.
absolutely. I'll send you out an email early next week.
That'd be great.
All right.
All right.
Are
Thanks
you
very
guys
much,
all
Chip.
set?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Yep, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great holiday, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
happy
too.
Thanksgiving. Have
Bye.
fun at the wedding, dance up a
Oh, I
storm.
will. It'll
Yeah,
be
there
fun.
you go.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right. Good. Got that one down. All right. So updates from Brenda. And you can see on the agenda, there's a lot of them. She's been busy.
Yeah.
There you go. And things take longer than you would like, but Candlewood Corner, the accessible parking spaces, they did put in the required 4 accessible parking spaces. The 2 of the spaces share 1 access aisle. The other 2 spaces are located across, they have their own access aisle. They need signage on the ones the 2 spaces that share an access aisle. They are doing, I don't know if anyone's been out in that area, but they're putting in 2 new buildings right where there was like grassed area there. And that's where the accessible parking spaces are. And I kind of thought when I went there the other day, I says, oh, I'm going to see if the construction workers or any of the workers that are using them, they were totally all open. I was like, even though that right now they're not, those 2 spaces don't have the signage up, they do have the big wheelchair of accessibility on the ground, and it's very hard to not know that this is an accessible parking space with
They
so
just restriped this area, didn't they?
they only restriped the accessible parking spaces.
Okay.
Because I can't tell them to restripe the whole parking lot,
Yeah,
but the
we don't
spaces
care.
they did.
Good.
So, but I will reach out to Anthony just to see what he's thinking about when he's gonna put up these signs, because he said he was going to, so I will follow through on that also, okay? Any
Mhm.
questions? No, all right.
Good.
All right, so then Nantucket Inn. So the company that owns Candlewood Corner is called VTT Management. They own a ton of property on Nantucket, and they also own the Nantucket Inn. So the Nantucket Inn now they have signage for 2 accessible parking spaces right in the front when you
Yeah.
go there. And then if you go around to kind of like around the back of the building is like where people really kind of like drop off their luggage and check in. They have 2 more signs, no striping, nothing. So I reached out to them, to the manager. His name is Sean Scioto, And I met with him just the other day. Couldn't be any nicer. For one thing, they have 100 rooms there, but they on their website they only advertised that they had one accessible room, and by code they're supposed to have 5. So I wanted to discuss that with him, and like the placement of the accessible parking spaces were kind of dependent on if they did have 5 accessible rooms. So they do have 5 wheelchair accessible rooms. None of them are in the main hotel, because I think the main hotel, are there rooms up on the second level? There's something up, I don't know if the rooms are just like all scattered. The main building is only like for like common area stuff. But he took me around to the 5 accessible rooms that they have. They were all occupied. They have a pretty robust, they're pretty full this time of year. And anyway, he told me that they are all wheelchair accessible. The bathrooms are completely accessible. And now we're going to put accessible parking spaces on the closest route to these accessible rooms. And the one thing that I noticed, and I'm going to ask him to take a picture of the rooms and pictures of the bathroom, because I couldn't go in and see them. But he said they're all completely ADA compliant. There was a little lip that I noticed, like when you go from like the walkway to the door, and they're gonna put a little ramp on that so that I said it's probably a 2-inch lip, and so they're gonna put a ramp on that, and then they're gonna put in 2 accessible parking spaces out front with an access aisle and signage. They're going to put a van accessible space out in the rear of the building where people kind of check in. It's going to be a van accessible space, and then 3 other parking spaces located on the closest route to the accessible rooms. So they'll be kind of scattered throughout the complex, and he couldn't have been any nicer to work with. So he's Sean is he is the manager there. He's totally on board, but says whatever you need done, we're going to do. And I said, well, on the website, change it that you have 5 accessible rooms and not 1. So it was a good meeting.
Great.
Questions? Oh, okay. So then Mickey and I have been working Lily Pond Park, over there on Lily Street. The Land Banks has this huge project going on. I mean, it is so, the details that we see about the vegetation, the slopes, the kind of the dirt that they're using or soil that they're using, it's impressive. But anyway, on the accessible part of it, it looks really great, right, Mickey, when we looked at it the other day?
It does. They were gonna basically, where the parking is on North Liberty there. They're
Yeah.
gonna I don't know if I guess they're probably making improvements there too. So there'll be a hard surfaced accessible parking space that'll connect to a brick walkway. The brick walkway goes into the property for quite a ways, kind of loops around. And then at some point it changes to a boardwalk. And then the boardwalk goes way deep into the far end of the land bank property, all the way to the back. And then it terminates at the end there, where there's actually kind of an access down from Lily Street. You may not even know about it, but there's a little lane going down from Lily Street down the hill between some houses. There's no real parking down there, but it's more of a pedestrian access really. And it gets you from one end, through brick sidewalk and wooden boardwalk all the way through the property down to there. And then there is actually a third access into the whole property closer to the beginning of Lily Street. And it's only like 3 or 4 houses up Lily on the left, kind of across from, I think, what they call Snake Alley, which goes up to the Academy
Academy Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to remain as grass. It's probably a little bit more sensitive of an area environmentally. They're not they don't have any plans to do any brickwork or boardwalk there. My recollection is that it's kind of a rough surface right now, but I do think they're going to try to improve it. they're gonna, for a stretch of it where it's kind of low and probably a little almost muddy, but not quite, they're gonna put in those grid, turf grid stiffening products. They're like honeycomb cells they put within the grass, the plastic, and that supposedly makes the grass a more stable surface that wheelchairs might be able to go down. It'll be a good test, Augie, for you to try that one out when it's done. We'll see how it comes out.
Where does that path begin? It's on Lily Street,
It's on
right?
Lily, right across the Snake Alley, I think, and it
Yep.
goes down
I know
straight,
where it is, yes.
kind of
I
not
think-
really to the parking area, but close to it for
Okay,
the actual parking area.
Yeah.
So that's definitely obviously a pedestrian access.
yeah,
You know, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
darn good that they've got this parking lot and all the hard surface throughout the the majority of the Lily Pond area. So it's a big improvement. It's going to be pretty nice when they're done. So
And it's a van accessible space.
okay, any other
Yeah.
questions about the Lily Pond?
no.
All right,
No.
Brenda.
All right. Someone from the NRTA reached out to me to see if the Commission on Disability would write a letter of support for what they're applying for is a grant for a travel trainer is the position. And a travel trainer, and so I wrote a letter of recommendation, a letter of support for this. And the grant application is to fund a dedicated travel trainer. The travel trainer would enhance mobility and independence by assisting seniors and individuals with disabilities to confidently and safely use Nantucket's public transit services, especially the paratransit dial-a-ride service. And so they were applying for the grant and they asked us for a letter of support and we wrote one. And hopefully they'll get it. Because I think it's great that they're doing this for the seniors and for people with disabilities, like how, so we did it. How's that? It's a one-on-one education and support. So see how that all works out.
Great.
Good? Yeah. All right. That's the letter of support. Okay. Mickey, you want to talk about Mike Burns and the accessible parking spaces at 2 Fairgrounds?
Yeah, so this 2 Fairgrounds is the building where the building department is, and it's the access there is somewhat limited. They finally ramped the front of the building, but the parking, there's no real good parking at the front of the building, accessible parking.
No,
You have to really park in the back. At the moment, I think you're supposed to park way in the back and go through some back doors that are never
there's a
open.
side door, yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible solution. So the idea is to improve that by putting in 2 accessible spaces kind of near the entrance road going into the property. And the road actually splits. It goes to the right to get to the front door of the
Right.
building department, but it also goes to the left and goes into this massive parking lot for long-term parking, I think is what it is.
I think there's 2 parking spaces in the front.
By the front door of the building, I don't think there's any accessible.
That's where I've parked. I don't think they're not, it's not exactly accessible, no, but
No,
there
they're
are
not marked that
spaces.
way.
There are 2 spaces there, I think.
There's at least 2 there. There's
Maybe 3, yeah.
there's another set of them, like 3 or to the side. So there's probably like 5 maybe
Yeah, somewhere,
parking
right,
spaces in the
right.
front,
Okay.
but they're not marked as accessible. And in fact,
No, they
you
are,
can't
no.
even get from those spaces up onto there's a
Right,
curb that you
that
can't
is the
cross.
problem,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So short of putting the curb cut in, which they don't seem to want to do, that we're going to be parking in the back. It's actually relatively close, so it's not a bad spot to put the parking. But the problem was how to make it work for both the long-term parking. Help me with this one, Brenda, because the shuttle bus comes through there and picks up people that have parked in accessible spaces for long-term parking. And that there's like a little shed, like a protective shed for the weather where the actual stop is, but
That's in the commuter parking lot.
in the commuter parking
Yeah,
lot.
right.
But there isn't a real scheduled, so the plan, you're gonna have to tell me this, there's no accessible parking where the shed is, right?
No, so let's go back to like to two fairgrounds. We're thinking of putting in, there is actually an accessible parking space over in the police department parking lot where an accessible route to the building at two fairgrounds. Okay, some people know about that, some people don't know about that, right?
Right, yes.
So what we want them to do is put an accessible parking space right there as you come in down the driveway. And if you took a right to go into like the parking lot that has maybe about 10 parking spaces, right there's actually 3 parking spaces. And we're asking them to put in an accessible parking space there in an access aisle because it's on an accessible route that'll take you right to that ramp. So we thought that that was like the best place for an accessible parking space for the two fairgrounds building. Now, the commuter lot, I think, let's just say there's 120 spaces. They're not striped, obviously. It's mostly dirt back there. But they should have 4 or 5 accessible parking spaces. I forget what, I think maybe it's 4. And so what they're thinking, one of the scenarios was there's accessible parking spaces now in the two fairgrounds parking lot against the garage doors, and they are totally they're used by a lot of people that are not authorized to be parking in those spaces. And so what they're thinking now, we have that one accessible parking space that's going to for the two fairgrounds building, and then we're thinking of like putting the 4 accessible parking spaces close to the entrance of the commuter parking lot. And just because it's on pavement and nothing is paved inside the commuter parking lot. But the one thing is that the NRTA would have to be on board of making that one of their stops to either pick up or drop off anyone that needs to use those accessible parking spaces. And if the NRTA is on board for doing that, then that might be a solution for the accessible, that might be the solution for having the 4 accessible parking spaces that the commuter lot's supposed to have.
But the catch was, it's not really where the shuttle stops.
I know that's what the NRT has to be on board of, like,
Yeah,
willing to stop there to drop off and pick up passengers.
right.
Right now, those accessible parking spaces that are facing the garage doors, they are so abused. You know, they're not striped properly. They're not signed. I mean, it's just like, I think it's just a really sin that it doesn't reflect well on the town. And so hopefully we can get that changed. And also we're looking for striping and signage, you know, and so it's not even like a high dollar fix. So that's kind of what's going on there, right?
Yep. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then on 4 Fair Street, so on Fair Street, there's 2 actually accessible parking spaces, 2 additional ones. One is across from 4 Fair Street. Judy Lochtefeld asked for it a long time ago. And the other one is up on 58 Fair Street, all the way up the other end, up by, is it Eagles Lane up there? Up that end, Mimi Jones.
Mimi Jones, yeah.
Wanted that. So they put in an accessible parking space up there, and they put in one down at 4 Fair Street. The problem one down at 4 Fair Street, it's not striped. And so now we're asking, so now we're going through the process of you gotta stripe this parking space to my poor cat. You have to stripe this parking space so everyone knows it is a true accessible parking space. And anyways, we're working with Mike Burns on that one in the DPW.
Okay.
You know.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. I reached out to Chip Clooney, back when we had the, elections, in May or June, when it was the interior automatic door for the high school was not working, the automatic door opener. So we ended up getting it working. I should say the custodian did. He asked me to reach out to them to make sure that they'll test all the automatic door opens and make sure that they're all working. So I totally reached out to them for the special town meeting. So, and that's my plan, is just to always reach out to them, make sure all the make sure all the automatic door openers are working. And so anyways, we did that. And if anyone wants a special town meeting, I hope you push those buttons and they open the doors, because I always do. All right. Then, okay. So this is Mary Beth and Augie you. I got an email ready to go to Amy Baxter at the police department, but I did reach out to several events. One of the event coordinators here on Nantucket know about it, David Handy. And then I reached out to NHA, and then NHA said to reach out to the Antiques Council that actually does the antique show. And she's very nice.
Oh, yeah, I was like, wait, where is this going?
Yeah, where's it going? Yeah.
Yeah, I reached out to the Antiques Council. Well, if you let all these event coordinators or people that are planning on having an event under the tent, they have to be wheelchair accessible. At least
Yeah.
at least they're aware. She was very nice. Let's just say her name was Karen. She was very, very nice. She said, Brenda, we will make sure that I told them that I could put the ramps in place, or ramps in place. They're gonna put a Moby mat down, they're gonna have accessible parking spaces, and they'll make sure that there's an accessible porta toilet. Wherever they have their porta toilets and stuff. She was very, very good. So the week just kind of got away. Every time I went to work, I was like, oh, I only need to do this, this, this. And then you get into work and you need to do a lot more things, which is fine. That's why you go in, right? But I have a letter, an email ready to go for Amy Baxter to put this, I'm going to request her to put in licensing for everyone that wants an event open to the public, because Amy Baxter and I and Ashling, who was the event coordinator for the Pops, I thought we did a phenomenal job, and Nikki, I'm sorry, did a phenomenal job on what we were expecting for access and everything, the accommodations, and did a phenomenal job. So I'd like to do the same for all public events that are outside, that everything is completely open to the public. So Mary Beth and Augie, you can go anywhere you want when there's an event under the tent.
Perfect.
I think we have another opportunity to buy that marble egg.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. The woman that runs it, she's out in Chicago, and she
Really?
has an antique. It was a store or business, and it's she's got high-end antiques.
Yeah,
Anyways,
everything was pricey.
yeah,
Is it
she
kind of like a traveling antique show?
I think so. Something on that idea. Yeah.
Like a
So
Barnum and Bailey of antiques, yeah.
like I said, she couldn't be any nicer, and they're like, we'll have a Moby mat, we'll have everything that you asked for. So the goal is really to get Amy, to get the town to make sure, as part of their licensing, that all events are wheelchair accessible.
Great, thank
So
you.
that's the goal here. All right. And then the airport crosswalks, Nancy brought that to my attention, and they're deplorable. I don't know if anyone has been out there lately. They're just absolutely horrific. And when I was taking pictures of it, several people came up to me and said, are you going to do something about these sidewalks? I says, I hope so. I work for the Commission on Disability. They said, thank you, because everybody hates them. Everybody avoids them. So I sent a letter to Will, the airport manager, and he emailed me back. I just said, can you please fix these? I said, they're a hazard.
You mean the bricked crossings? Okay.
Yeah, the brick crosswalks.
Yeah, the one that goes from the handcuff spot to the restaurant. There's a lot of missing bricks in there.
Oh, I took pictures and I sent
it's terrible.
them.
I go around it because
Yeah.
it's so bumpy.
Exactly, Augie.
Yeah.
So he said that their planning on resurfacing like the parking lot
Oh,
and
good.
the roadway. They're looking for a grant also, I think, was part of the narrative. And when that happens, they're gonna fix all the crosswalks. Well, Mickey and I discussed it and, we said, can you do a temporary fix? Can you just fill in these holes with asphalt? I mean, like,
Exactly, yeah.
just do something until, like, I mean, this is 6 months away you're talking about. And I said, can you just put asphalt in? I mean, I just think it's just deplorable that this is part of the airport, that, that everybody goes to the airport, coming and going from the airport, and for the restaurant itself. It's just, so anyway, he didn't get back with me, but I'll follow up on that one. Yeah. So, so the hospital accommodations check-in, Georgia.
So what?
So the hospital to check in at the front desk. You
I
know,
tried today. They wouldn't let me do it. I had to get in a
What?
wheelchair. No, it was only Jerry. Nobody else was there but Jerry. So I couldn't do it.
she didn't type out the phone at the desk?
She would have called somebody to come, but I had somebody with me and she pushed me in the wheelchair.
See, when I went there, it was my understanding that you could call from there and just register from the phone at the desk.
Jerry said she couldn't do it. Jerry Amparos, she said she couldn't do it. So Rhonda took me, so I got in the wheelchair and went down. So yeah.
Oh, see, that was not my understanding when I went there.
Yeah, when they have somebody else there with Jerry, they would let me check in there, but nobody was there today when I went in. So just,
So Georgia, have you been able to check in there at all?
one time there was somebody there and she let me check in. She checked me right in. So I didn't have to go all the way down.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Georgia, did you use the phone on the desk to check in, or did someone?
No, I had to go all the way down the hall to where
No, I
they
mean,
usually check in.
the other time when you said that.
No, the woman did it. There was somebody sitting next to Jerry and she checked me in on her computer right then.
Oh, well, Jerry told me that there was
Right.
a dedicated phone right there at the desk, and she showed it to me, that you could pick up and get connected to the registration.
Right. Okay.
But, and then there's
I'll ask Jerry when I see her again.
Yeah.
I'm going to be over there again, so I'll ask her.
okay, so and then
If
there's
there
a
is.
kiosk there that people are going to be able to check in themselves, but it's not operating right yet.
Okay,
I reached
because that
out
would
to-
make sense too. That would be
And
better.
so I reached out to James and just said, James, thank you
Okay.
for the phone line. So I really do believe there is a phone line that it will connect you right to the registration area.
I talked to Jerry for quite a bit. She just wanted to get me a wheelchair, but Rhonda came and got it for me. So
No, I understand that, because
I
she
didn't
kinda
want
was
to,
saying-
but anyway, I had to.
He was kind of
so.
saying that to me too. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's not the idea, Jerry. Everybody wants to be independent here,
Jerry said it's not, John, I'm not allowed to do it. So that's what
Yeah.
she told me. So anyway.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I'll keep complaining about it. So there, Jerry knows I'm going to keep
But-
whining about it. So
getting back to what I was told,
Yes.
there's a phone there that will give
Yep.
you direct access to the registration that anyone can use.
I
We're
would
gonna
think
have the
so.
kiosk when it is up and
Yeah.
running.
Okay,
And
that makes sense.
when I reached out to James, he's the contact person that I've been dealing with this. I goes, I think it's great that you're gonna you have a phone there, but nobody knows you have a phone there because you have no signage. So he's
No.
gonna put signage right there at the front
Right.
door.
Yeah,
that you
because
can Use that phone to check in.
I was hoping I could check in, right there, but I couldn't, and Rhonda came in and shoved me in the chair, so I was fine. But if I don't
Yeah,
have to do that, I don't want to do that.
No,
I will someday, but right now I don't really have to all the time. But it's just a long way down there anyway. I had to today, so I had to use it today. So it's all right.
I want Georgia. I'm gonna make sure that phone that.
Right. Yep.
And I'm almost positive. James said it was one of the
Yeah.
the person
Okay.
I'm dealing with.
Okay. I'm sure I'm going to be there next week, so I'll talk to Jerry about it too.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do
All
that.
right.
Okay.
All right. So we already talked about the Nantucket Hotel. They're gonna have the parking spaces
Brenda,
yep.
Brenda, you skipped over
Oh.
airport gas station
Oh,
accessible.
yeah. So
Oh.
I went to the airport gas station,
Yeah.
and when I went there, it was just there like a big pit.
Yeah, they're digging it up
Place
right
the
now.
gas
Yeah,
tanks,
yeah.
and
Doing some
dirt
work, they're
everywhere,
replacing-
it didn't matter, you know?
They're
Right.
all the pumps.
Yeah, that happened after our first time in, cause
Yeah,
I went to make a run there a couple weeks ago and I was like, wow, it was just,
Uh-huh.
they're like digging up the tanks, the gas tank, I don't,
yeah,
yeah.
they're doing that, the other one too, the Shell, too, near Stop and Shop,
The car wash gas station, they're doing that too.
the Shell gas station, yeah.
Oh, okay, and they have that accessible parking space up against the sign right up against the building, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're where, that it's not striped well, right? I mean,
No,
it's
it's
very
not.
faint, right?
Yeah,
And then I went around to like where Roasted General Store is, and there's only about 5 parking spaces there, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So what are our thoughts? Keep the accessible parking space where it is and have them stripe it properly?
stripe it properly, I think, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and if it's taken, then I just keep going for you.
Yeah, well, they should also, well, I think they should have the sign on the building, they should have it right in front of the spot, they just have signs sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, we didn't even see that spot when the first time we
Yeah, we didn't
pulled in
see it,
there.
because it's on
We
the
don't,
building.
yeah, we didn't even see, it was like kind of covered in, I don't know what was going on, but we went
Yeah,
around
there's something
building.
blocking it, yeah.
to like the roasted market, and yes, and there are just like maybe what, 4 spaces there
Yeah,
in front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love to do some more.
So what we're gonna ask them to do is to restripe that area, right? And to put
Yeah.
it in, and put in a permanent sign, like a post? Is
yeah,
that-
posts, yeah, posts.
I think that would be good. I mean, it's obviously like for the most part, although the first time we went in there, they do have like little cafe tables that are out in front of that roasted market,
Yeah,
but it feels sort of more like a grab and go or like an order.
well, that's what.
And
exactly
go
what
a
it
lot
is.
of like, working guys, whatever. But for him, it's always like fun for us when I can go in my Jeep and grab takeout anywhere, but it's just fun, to be able to go in, right?
Yeah,
To a place and, whatever's possible where,
Yeah, I have to look at it better because they're like, okay, do they have a good accessible route to the to Roasted?
yeah,
From that,
from that spot
Yeah.
on like when you pull in the proper entrance,
Yeah.
the hidden one on the left. No, I don't know. You'd probably get run over by people like pulling in to fill their tank, right, Alex?
yeah, but you're not that close to it. Not that close to
gotta-
the pumps.
I have to go out there and revisit it now that they.
Yeah, it is close to the pumps, it is. But that's the only spot I think you could have right there, because that's the widest one that you could have for a wheelchair spot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. What else? I think that's the best. But if there's anything with, I don't know.
I don't know, and I it's a small place, and again, it's primarily takeout. They're very nice. I don't know. I hate being crabby. Where crabbiness is due.
The goal is to make it as accessible as we can get it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's think of the optimal way to do that.
All right.
I think definitely like better signage, because as I said,
Yeah.
we didn't even see it. We went right past
Yeah.
it. And yeah.
Better signage, restripe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll have to look again. I can go over and
Oh, that's
if I
right.
can get in the park and see
So-
what the route is, because
Yeah.
Yeah,
we never parked in that spot because we didn't see it. We just the times we went in there, we went right by it. So we parked over around in front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then once we parked off like to the side.
Yeah, so I remember that it was a really wide spot, and when I put the ramp down, we were still not really.
You're talking about the one in front of the market now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
weren't like we weren't like, I mean, the spot was wider than our car was, so definitely they should have the line more in, and then have the stripes down for the ramp.
Because while we were in there,
Yeah.
someone pulled in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Someone pulled in, so then I could no longer open the
Ramp.
the ramp, which
No one
in
else
ours,
is- No one else is there.
yeah.
No one else is there. No one was parked next to us.
There was a woman who like pulled in
I don't
and
remember.
was like blocking us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they should put the stripes, have the stripes.
Right.
I'll go over too, Brendan, and have like another
Look at
look
it,
too.
yeah.
Okay, so we're looking for a space and an access aisle, obviously.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Alright.
Good, all right. Hospital common accessible, okay. Okay, Sconset Golf Course. Like, the land bank owns the property, and then there's a golf management company that runs the whole Sconset Golf Course, the same as Maya Comet. And the man's name is Matt. And Mickey and I met with them, like, because they're gonna do like $100,000 renovation to make that place as accessible as possible. And which is great. That's all like taken care of. We went through everything with them earlier on in the year. And then Matt called me from New Jersey and said, you know, Brenda, what I'd like to do too is that they don't allow golf carts at the Sconset Golf Club. Okay. So he says, I'm thinking that we can, if somebody has a disabled parking permit, then we can allow them to use a golf cart on the course. He says, which would be great, right? And I thought that was a really great idea. And he ran it by the land bank, and the land bank was all for it. And then he ran it by some of his the people that work for him. They just said, you know, like, there's a couple of holes out there. There is no way a golf cart, just because of the terrain. It's like, I don't know if you know what that looks like out there. He says there's no way that a golf cart could actually drive on the grass there. You would have to put in some kind of a cart path. And so, anyways, he's looking at all his options there. If he can do it, he's going to do it. If he can't do it, I don't know what the answer is to this, but he just said a couple of holes. It's impossible for a cart to safely navigate those holes. So we'll see what's going to be said. But I thought it was really great of him to call me and tell me that. One evening he was driving home and he said, you know, Brenda, I have this idea. And I thought it was really a great idea. It wasn't even like we didn't even bring it to him. He brought it to us. So I thought it was great. So I'll keep you up to date on what's happening there. Pippinanka has an accessible parking space. It's just, they're going to, it's going to be 16 feet wide. And they have to, in order to do that, there's like gravel. They're going to have that very first space when you pull into the driveway. And what they're going to do is there's some gravel there, and there's some posts there, some hitching posts, it looks like. And they're going to pave that over, and they're going to stripe that space to be a van accessible space. Right now, they have signage up there saying it is a van accessible space, but they're waiting on Victor to come and do the paving work. Everybody's waiting on Victor. Victor is the most popular man on this island.
Right now, yes.
Yeah. Right.
I know they're working very hard. I have an inn over there, so I know they're just nonstop working, trying to get stuff done
Oh, yeah.
before it gets too cold. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the Unitarian Church is gonna, there's gonna be an additional parking space at the Unitarian Church. There's an existing accessible parking space now, and the new one's gonna be in front of that one.
I thought they had two there. There's only one? Okay.
Yep. They might have two now, but there was only one at the time, but it was approved to have a second one.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
All right. That's all I got.
I have a quick question. I have a friend who's 79 who fell in Stop and Shop parking lot, fell on her face. It's where you push your empty carts back in.
Yeah.
There's a railing there that fell, and it's been fallen all summer. It's been that way for 6 or 7 months. And the ambulance had to come and take her to the hospital and everything. And she's going to be okay. But, you know, it's not the first time. Some car hit it and knocked it over. So when she walked by it, she didn't see and tripped over it. So I just wondered if there's something we could do. The managers came out when it happened because the ambulance came and saw, but I thought maybe by then they would have fixed it, but this was 10 days ago and it's still not fixed. So I just wondered if that's something we can send a note about and ask them to do that.
Mhm.
Louise doesn't have a handicap. She probably should have one, but doesn't. But, she pushed the thing in and the railing for it is off on the side and it's at an angle where a car hit it.
Georgia, this is the the cart corral
Yeah, correct.
cage thing,
Correct. Yep.
and
Yeah.
like the side of it or something has collapsed down.
Yeah, yeah, it's hanging at an angle. I had a picture of it, but I don't know if I still have it.
Yeah, that's all right.
I tried to get rid of some of those
Well-
things though, but yeah,
We've dealt with these people before.
yeah.
And I think didn't they eventually move the cart corral to where we wanted them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. So I forget the guy's name, something Silver maybe. Brenda, do you want to try to
Yeah.
do that? And if, I can do it too, but you're there and I'm not.
Two people said we should sue them, but she's on Social Security disability and she couldn't get any money anyway because they'd take it. So, and she's okay. So, she's doing PT now. Hopefully it'll help her balance. But anyway, yeah, she just didn't see it, went on her face.
Wow.
Second time in
Nancy,
2
honey,
weeks.
Nancy, you're muted. Do you know that?
Pardon?
Nancy.
Nancy,
yeah.
oh, there
Well,
you
yeah, I've
are.
got a cat that comes in and out. If I keep getting up and leaving, and he'll start making noise, which is why I muted myself.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, got it. I got 2 cats and they make a lot of noise.
Oh, dear God, yes.
It's part of life.
I have a
Love 'em.
dog who does the same thing, jumps on me all the whole time I'm on the Zoom. So I cut it out, get down, go away.
Want him to disrupt anybody. He's busy right now.
That's it. We have to get them busy. Yeah, that's what I did. So Sally.
All right. So Georgia, thanks for
Okay.
that one. We'll try to
Yeah,
Brenda
just
and
see
I
if we
will try
can't
to-
fix that. Yeah.
contact them. So
Yeah.
that concluded. Thank you, Brenda, for
Yeah.
your update. As you have been busy. There is a lot going on. So
Yep.
old business, I'm not really sure there's a topic to really discuss there. Is there?
Yeah, something I would like to say.
Well, good, but I know that we'll bring up other like new business, but feel free. There's nothing else on the agenda to talk about. So anybody
What's
wants
on
to
the
say
agenda?
something, go
Okay.
ahead, Augie.
Go, Augie.
Yeah, when I was at Sound Shop, I noticed
Oh, you're on the old business still? I don't know what he's on. Okay, good.
why I see why well I've seen the
The what?
the cart corral is kind of leaning over.
Yeah.
And I think also is caused by like strong winds. I think that they probably just have to, probably
Reinforce them?
yeah, probably have to put stronger. and they
Right.
have to Probably bolt it down to the ground or something.
Yeah.
Re-
Somebody actually had seen this be hit by a car in the spring. So it's been down for months, but and somebody
Yeah,
hit it,
so-
the car hit it. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, to make it stay up, you mean?
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
probably the
Right.
car probably hit it, probably didn't help. It probably made it weak.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look at them.
Any Mary Beth and Augie, you must have something else that
Yeah.
you're not happy with.
Yeah, so there's a handcuff spot at Allen Kitchen, and it only seems to be one now. I mean, there used to be the one in the front where
Right.
the bricks are.
Yep, yep.
It's now this spot for people to wait, I guess, there's like benches there. But the only spot that I only see there is one in the back, and the sign is kind of pushed back. The handcuff sign is kind of pushed back, I guess, while back, probably a car backed into it, but
Well,
it's
it's
up
not-
against.
It's on the fence though.
is up against the hedges.
Yes, it's almost like they're trying to keep it a secret. So
But you can't see
I don't know
it.
if anyone's familiar with the parking lot there.
There's only one handcuff spot.
It's a very confusing parking lot.
I
There aren't
know.
even any lines in there, are there?
There's not even any lines.
It's just like a big mess of cement.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and a few times I've seen this cars parked there, they're not handicapped.
yeah, so it's, if you go like past, it's hard to describe if you haven't been in there, but it's, if you're.
If you go past like.
So
that-
you enter, the parking lot, right?
And then you have the
Island
hedges.
Kitchen is over there on the right, and then you've got the
crickets.
big,
Huge thing, yep.
cement area with no lines. It's kind of a free for all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the privets.
Right,
Yeah,
there
on the
are,
left side.
I think there's a fence behind it, like the privet or whatever it is, something.
There's no fence there, it's just hedges.
It's hedges.
It's all hedges. yeah.
And it's way like it's hard to describe. It's if you're in the restaurant and you look across like the parking lot,
Yes, if you go, if you look across. from-
and what would be
Okay,
the front row of where parking is, front or back, depending on which way you look at it.
right.
Then there's a handicap sign. It is literally like in the bushes,
Yeah.
and there, forget striping, there's nothing. And yeah, and it's just it's like hidden, and you would have no idea that it was there. So whenever we go, it's just a big game of where can you fit, and wherever we go, it doesn't really matter, because someone's going to park next to us and I'm going to pull out so I can get back far enough to open the ramp van and put my
Open the ramp.
put the hazards on and whatever. So, but the point is, it's not right. It's just a sign that's like hidden in bushes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this parking lot probably has at least 15 parking spaces, I'm guessing.
Oh,
Yeah, at least.
absolutely.
So
More.
it's required to have one,
I would say 20 it has, about
it's
20.
Yeah.
required to have at least
Yeah.
one van accessible parking space,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they, obviously they kind of have one, but it's not striped, so nobody, and it's definitely, there's no access aisle next to it.
no.
So Brenda, is this something that we can put on our list to
Oh,
contact
most
them
definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
and have them
I know
stripe
right
it
where that is.
and have
Yeah.
an access aisle?
I'm gonna go look at the property, and I haven't been to Island Kitchen in a while. I used to go a lot, but I haven't been there in a while. And I'm gonna go look at their site plan, because even though the parking lot isn't striped, it tells how many parking spaces supposed to be in there. And
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's in excess of 25 parking spaces there. Wouldn't you think so?
It's hard to tell because
It-
it's not striped, so it's
Yeah.
It
almost
could
as if
be,
they're trying
right.
to keep that a secret too.
There's
Um,
room for them, but you're right. There's no way. I mean, it depends on how people decide they're going to park that day.
Right.
It
Exactly.
could be all over the place.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
on the
it's,
site plan, they would have to have they'd have to show
Yeah.
parking in that parking
They would
area.
actually have to put spaces in
They,
there.
they
Yeah.
have, they showed
Yeah.
on the site plan, just like with Nantucket Hotel in Candlewood Corner. They're not striped, but their site plan at the building department tells them how many parking spaces that are supposed to be in there. So
Yeah.
I'll see how many is supposed to be in there, because if there's supposed to be 2, I'm gonna request 2. I'm not saying that there is, but I'll do a little bit of homework before I just reach out to
Also too, one of the tricky things about that parking lot too is let's say if your car is parked all in the back and his cars are parked in the middle and you're trying
Uh-huh.
to run and get out of there,
oh,
if there's a car.
Yeah, you can't
blocking
get out,
you,
you're
right.
trapped, yeah.
You are.
Be-
You
can't
get
go
trapped in
Because
around.
there.
there are no lines to indicate where the parking spaces are.
Right.
It's everyone, whether it's a pickup or it's a smart
Right.
car,
There's no
everyone
arrows.
kind of just dumps it wherever they want to. And
Yeah,
then
that's right.
we've had the occasion of
Yeah.
being like trapped where we couldn't,
Yeah.
there was no way
Right.
to loop around to
Yeah,
get
there's
out.
no way to loop around. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too is I don't really know what their, capacity is, and it's a small place, tiny
It
little
is
place.
small.
But in the summer,
They
with
have
the
a whole-
outdoor
yeah,
seating, there are
yeah.
loads of people and it's always
Oh, yeah.
packed.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like their
And the ice
capacity is a
cream shop.
moving target.
Isn't
Yeah.
it what's the other restaurant there? Past Island Kitchen?
1111, I think.
So that's another story. We
Yeah.
mentioned that too, so Sushi Sean 1111.
Yeah.
That
'Cause they-
location, I think pretty much been like a bad penny because nothing has seemed to be able to survive there.
I know.
And
But
I
they
talked
use
to
that
Vicky
parking
about the
lot
same
too.
thing.
pardon?
They use
I
that
said the
parking
same thing
lot
to
too, right?
Vicky.
Yeah, sorry.
I imagine that they must, so I don't really have a handle on exactly what the working, situation is, the
Yeah.
hours of operation with Sushi Sean. I looked at the website, it looks like they're only open evenings and only like a few evenings. I think he does a lot of catering, a lot of takeout, but it doesn't even seem to be open during the day, but the
No.
point is, we can't get in, it's rocks,
It is
it's
open
nothing.
during the day.
And
yes,
the
yes.
whole rocked parking lot is occupied by his, what do you call it?
Truck.
Food truck?
Yeah.
He's a big food truck.
His
Um,
catering truck, yeah.
His catering truck. So I don't know. And Augie's pretty much like given up on like the notion of going in there, but it's just there's nothing. There's no effort whatsoever to it's just rocks and nothing else. And his big
Yeah, truck,
mobile, yeah.
mods for the catering truck.
So this
Catering.
is a situation where I don't think there are 15 parking spaces on this property.
No,
Yeah.
not with Sushi Sean. It's small and it's small
Yeah, yeah.
rock thing in front.
Yeah, it's hard
Oh.
to get in there too because the curb, like it extends pretty long. It's pulling in there just like was like a big SUV. Like you're gonna hit like the curb when you pull in there.
It's tight.
Yeah, because when we pulled in there, like we hit like bumped the curb, the tire did, and then we're just like it's closed anyways. So we're like we're like forget about this. I'm not gonna go here again.
Screw this.
Yeah.
So Brenda, what in this situation where it's not really required to have an accessible parking space, what have we done in the past? I mean, I know we've asked plenty of places to put in accessible spaces, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I'm not sure, do we have any leverage here to make this space? Because I think
I
they
mean-
had a sign there for a while for an accessible space, but it's gravel. So
Can I just ask, does it go by
Yeah,
the
that's
ref-
on the
but does
ground.
it go by the venue or the restaurant's capacity or by the size of the parking lot itself or some combination?
The size of the
both?
parking lot, it's how many
Oh.
parking spaces are in the parking lot.
Oh,
If you
I
have
see.
15 more or greater, then you're required to put in an accessible parking space. If you
Oh, I
have
gotcha.
14,
So-
you're not required.
So nothing to do with capacity, it's just the lot
No.
itself. I gotcha. All right.
Got it.
It's a really simple formula.
Yeah, because I mean, so
Too simple, yeah.
I mean they don't so I mean the only issue is like I mean I would be able to go to that restaurant if there is access to get through it because when you're going like when you're walking through the parking lot at the
Kitchen.
and there's a curb so you can't get up into the restaurant and plus what's this Sean restaurant because there's a curb right there and the only way for me to get in there is to go like out on this street and but then once you go into the parking lot is rocks and it's like I mean I can't get through that.
No,
Yeah, so if there was access, with a curb, if a sidewalk, where a curb is, you put a ramp or something, then that would be possible.
Yeah, this one, it sounds like Uggs, this one
Yeah.
might not be
Yeah, I know.
anything you can do.
Yeah, probably somebody else, buys, gets new ownership or something.
Well,
Well, if
I believe he has a lease, not
yeah, ownership. That's probably what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking on the street view, and there is a so-called accessible space with a sign. This is
Yeah.
on the street view thing.
Yeah,
Actually,
we're at Sushi Sean's.
it's Sushi Sean's, but I don't know how old this photograph is.
I think it's pretty old because you can't miss it now because all you can see is the giant mobile food truck
yeah,
in the parking lot.
yeah.
And
But it's a gravel parking lot, so it still doesn't help much.
No,
exactly, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, alright.
Well, there is, next to there's the sign, and it looks like the space in front of the sign is gravel, but there's a fairly large brick surface next to the parking space that if you pull in the
That's not
proper
been
way.
your experience, right?
No, it was there, the bricks are there. they are there, it's just you have to back into it, and you
Yeah.
have to hopefully pull in there, you don't hit the curb. No, it's just really tight, parking lot, if there's other cars parked there, forget about it, you can't get out of there.
Yeah, it is really tight. I do remember that.
Yeah, you can't, yeah, this is not good.
No.
So that's the issue, is just that, but like I said, there's probably nothing we can do about that now.
I don't know, Brenda.
I don't know if we can require them to do anything. I can look at it. I'd be more than happy to look at it. I'm gonna be out there at, Island Kitchen anyway, but, I mean, as far as like enforcement goes, there is
Yeah,
regulation state 15 or more
Yeah.
spaces, so it's like we don't have
Regulations.
any, like,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
AEP
no.
doesn't have any jurisdiction over
this,
this.
this can't be more than 5 spaces.
I know.
Yeah, can't,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, all right.
so anything else you guys have come across lately?
We're gonna have to get out there and come across something, Augie.
Yeah, I just. No, I think airport parking lot needs some more handicap spots.
Does he kind of mumbled that to me,
There's only one.
earlier
One.
when you were talking about, no, there's more than one.
No, there's only one. It's only like one.
He's talking about the airport part, not
Only
airport
one.
gas, airport itself.
Right,
the
the
parking
airport
lot.
itself.
Yeah.
The long term or the short term?
A short term.
The short term, like, is if you go into the restaurant, you go into
Yes.
like
Yeah.
the parking lot closest to the,
I thought there were 2 spots.
No, it's only
Determine.
one because a lot of times cars parked there, you gotta park in a normal spot.
I'm gonna look.
It's only one there. Yeah, it's only one.
You'd think there'd be more than one.
I
Yep.
know.
Are some of
It's
them
you
reserved-
out there, right?
are some reserved for like airport employees? or
And you
something
park in
like
an
that?
accessible
don't
parking
know.
space?
There, I believe, are 2 in the short-term area.
Yeah.
2
I thought there
handicap
were
accessible.
2 as well, Uggs. I think you're wrong.
There's 2 different parking lots as you come in all the way down.
Right.
There's one
Hmm.
there. So one would take you to the main access and the other one is right by the
Yeah,
restaurant.
it is.
So they're
Yeah.
both accessible, but getting across is an
Yeah.
issue. You
Yeah,
know,
I just
even
know
with
the
a
first-
walker, I'm petrified
I don't blame
because
you.
there's even holes in the pavement. The whole area is just not safe.
No.
I agree. And the lighting is deplorable.
Yeah.
And that's a double danger because you can't see where you're going and everything is
No.
so potted and so dug up and the bricks are sticking up. It's it needs quick attention.
Yep.
Yeah. So Brenda, you're gonna follow up on that one, I'm sure.
Yep.
for that
I will.
airport guy. Okay, anything else from anybody regarding our business?
Brought to Brenda's attention, the Easy Street Restaurant, which is in Steamboat Wharf area,
Yep.
has no handicap accessible entrances,
No,
both
not
sets of steps. With no ramps or anything. It makes it a little difficult getting in. I can do it with a walker. I don't think anybody with a wheelchair could possibly enter that restaurant.
No.
Yeah.
And I had heard that they may be exempt because this building was put up way before these things were put into place. And I don't think they've made any sort of current renovations. They've done things like paint the place and, redo the floors, but no actual building renovations have been occurring. And I don't know if they're covered under an old covenant.
So it became Easy Street Restaurant in 1973, right? I think this is what, and the building is older than 1973. I went to the building department and I was looking to see if they applied for any kind of a variance for not having an accessible front entrance, and maybe to have an accessible front entrance or an accessible entrance is like almost impossible because of the size of the ramp would be out on Lower Broad Street there, and Mick was saying if they put in a lift, that's an area that floods a lot. So I'm I was kind of looking to see if they had any kind of any variance letter in their folder, and I didn't come across anything. And they've done they have done stuff like in 1973 they closed in the porch, and they've done electrical work. They've done work throughout the years on it. And and in 1973, there was the very first edition of the Architectural Access Board's regulations. It came out in 1968, and they do require an accessible entrance. So, like I said, I looked at everything. It was just like such a long, this building permit for this and this in 1980, whatever. Maybe I just need to do better homework on it and see if I know. Nowhere did I come across a letter that they applied for variance for an accessible entrance, for not having an accessible entrance. That's one thing that I do know, and
And it's possible that they've never actually been required to have one
yeah.
because it's pre-existing. And it has been for quite a while. There's a number of restaurants in town that don't have any access.
Mm-hmm.
Note.
I can look at that again if you want to pursue this. I'm gonna look at the restaurant itself and take some pictures.
Okay.
And I'll discuss it with Mickey. And I'll go back and look. I mean, they do have like all the building permits of everything that they've done over the years, and just even cover. Yeah, so they do have a lot of building permits out there, and I can do a better job researching this, and I'd be happy to do it.
All right. Anything else? I don't know when we're gonna meet again. Brenda, any ideas? We don't have a regular schedule, obviously, so I guess it's more of an in the need basis. We are.
And plus, if any of the commissioners, if ever you want to discuss something and you don't want to wait until like we call a meeting, you can say that you'd like to have a meeting also. We'd be more than happy to set up a meeting if anyone felt like it was something that they really wanted to like discuss and was like it was time sensitive. We'd be more than happy to do that. I'd be more than happy to set up a meeting.
Yep. Good.
All right, so
All right.
It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Robin, I said hi, Mickey.
I will. I'll do that. Thanks, Nancy.
Thanksgiving plans, everybody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Find out.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
enough.
I'm here. You're gonna be here. Nantucket, not going anywhere.
There you go. All right. Why don't we adjourn the meeting and I can stop the
Yeah, I need a motion to adjourn by Georgia.
Nancy, a second. Well, Nancy just said so move, but
Okay.
she's
Okay.
muted, so.
By Nancy, just seconded by Georgia. All those in favor, just say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye.
okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
All right.
Happy week, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Just